What's up, guys? This is the Honest Outlaw here, and today we're going to be doing another 1911 review. This time we're going to be talking about the Bul Armory Trophy 1911 Classic. Now, before we do that, I want to mention my Patron supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because of you guys we can get cool guns and ammunition to shoot them. Really appreciate that. If you want to help support the channel, all you have to do is go down to the description below, click the link, and sign up. If you do sign up, I do put some exclusive content on there, and I do try to get to all your questions. So if you feel like you have a gun question, Patron's the easiest spot to get me. Feel free to direct message me. Also want to mention a local homeless shelter in Ames, Iowa that I like to support. It's a youth shelter. I've been supporting it a long time, and it could use your help still. I would really appreciate it if you go down to the link and click and donate to those kids. And finally, I would ask you to go down and check out some Honest Outlaw swag. There's a link that the missus created down there. She creates all the merch, and she'd really appreciate it if you go down there, check that stuff out. Now, the Bul Armory Trophy 1911 9mm. Right off the bat, I would say it's a great gun for the money, even though it's relatively expensive. And we'll get to why here in a minute. As you can see here, it's a 5-inch 1911, comes in at around 39 ounces. If you're not familiar with the 1911, it is a single stack, holds 10 rounds in the magazine. This actually came with 2 mags, but all of my Wilson Combat magazines fit it, the 10 rounders, which are really nice. Super high quality magazine. If you're looking to buy a lot of 1911 magazines, Wilson Combat is what I recommend. I've shot a lot of 1911s, used a lot of mags. This is what I stock, so for whatever reason, I just like them the best. So, to explain what single action is, basically you just have to have the hammer cocked in order for the gun to work. Pulley, no bangy, unless you rack the slide. So you rack the slide, it cocks the hammer to the rear, and then you can fire the weapon. It will cycle, eject the round, and it will recock the hammer for you, allowing you to have the best trigger pull in the business. 1911, 2011, still to this day, even 100 years later, has the best trigger in the gun industry, no question. Straight back pull, no fulcrum necessary, and really good reset on this as well. Something like 2-pound trigger, bang. Really short reset, allowing for the super quick follow-up shots. You notice there I even forgot it had a beaver tail grip safety on it because it has that long memory pad and it's not squishy or anything like that. Works really well. One of the biggest cons on a 1911 is going to be that damn grip safety. Some people like it, some people don't. If it's done well and you don't notice it, it's a great attribute. If it's done poorly, it can be a terrible feature to your gun because you could draw your gun and not get the right grip, and all of a sudden the trigger won't work and you don't know why. Now you're tapping and racking, wasting tons of time when all you had to do was push that in. That's why a lot of old law enforcement guys and stuff like that had these pinned. A lot of competition guys have these pinned as well. Even companies like Atlas Gunworks do away with these completely. Not a con of the gun, just a con of the design overall. I'm just trying to say that it was done extremely well in this gun, so if you're looking for a gun where you won't have grip safety problems, this is a really good one. It's got a combat style skeletonized hammer up there with good serrations. Serrations on the slide release as well. Front slide serrations, a lot of serrations on this gun if you're getting there, if you're getting that. Front checkering, 25 lines per inch right there with an extended magazine release as well, also checkered. And we have a serrated trigger with a medium to long trigger shoe there, and it is skeletonized also. A little bit of weight savings on this, even though it's a steel frame. Most steel frame 1911s come in right around 42 ounces, something like that. This one comes in at about 39. I like that. It doesn't reduce any of the recoil mitigation because it already is a 9 to begin with, and 9mm 1911s recoil very softly and they can shoot very quickly. But it does increase the transition speed. 3 ounces off is a nice sweet spot for me personally. It doesn't come with a Picatinny rail because this is designed for IPSC Classic Division. So if you want to run this in a single stack division or a classic division in IPSC, you can do so. Has the magwell down there, which is one of the best 1911 magwells I've ever seen. Really well done, especially for the price point. You can see there it's all tapered and beveled perfectly, so the magazines go in there really nicely. Now the reason for that cutout in the front there is just because that's how 1911 mags work. So you don't have it all the way around. There's a magwell called like the Stan Chin magwell or something like that Ed Brown was using that goes all the way around. That's pretty cool. But this one's probably the best as far as use goes that I've ever tried. Really nice. Comes with G10 grips on there, which really work well, and you can really grip down and bear down and hold the gun in place place. On top of that, the texture on the front and rear strap are extremely nice as well. 25 lines per inch is kind of the industry standard, and it gives you a really great grip overall. Very tactile and ambi manual safety there, and it has an extended safety on the left side as well as the right. So you definitely are going to be using this for competition. I'm not sure you'd like that for carry because that might dig into your side, but for competition, which is designed for, it works really well. You can see how dirty it is. We've got about 600 rounds for this gun or so. I did not clean it. I lubricated at the very beginning, and it ran 100% except for one issue that we had. It's got a steel full-length guide rod. Some people don't like that. Some people do. Some people says it causes malfunction. Some people say it increases or decreases recoil impulse. I'm indifferent on the whole thing. I like more weight out front if I can get it. That's right where you'd want it for recoil mitigation, and it looks pretty cool to me, and it didn't cause any issues. Bushing barrel there, I'm sure that's to be legal for IPSC, I would well imagine. Bull barrels are nice, bushing barrels are nice. If guns are built for competition, they have specific features to fit into those divisions. Either way, bushing barrel works great for me. A lot of my 1911s have bushing barrels, a lot of them have bull barrels. Either one works great for me. Target crown on there, and fiber optic front sight with a blacked out rear sight. Very cool sight setup. I also like how they beveled it just a little bit. A lot of times they'll leave these sights sharp on the edges, and you can cut the shit out of your hand when you're trying to rack the slide. No problems there at all, and very nice thin front sight. The sighting setup was really thought through on this. Some of the best sights I've ever seen. Reminds me a lot of a gun that's like $4,000 or $5,000 plus. And obviously they're sunk into the slide, so they're still low, but you get that nice big adjustable for windage and elevation rear sight there, so you can really dial in your accuracy, which you're going to be able to do on this gun. Well, that's a good sign. So the reliability, I did mention just a minute ago that we shot 500 or 600 rounds. I think it was around 600 rounds. We didn't get to the full 1,000 rounds just because of the current ammo crisis that's going on here. And we did have one failure in the first like 2 magazines, and it was a stuck case that got stuck inside the barrel that actually had to push out. I would attribute that completely to ammo, especially considering I was shooting that really crappy Great Lakes 124 grain 9mm that I have. Really, really, really not quality ammunition. I've had some failures in previous guns, but hey, it's the ammo crunch, so what are you gonna do? So every time I shoot that ammunition, I'm a little hesitant to call it the gun's fault. Since then, we shot varying different types of ammunitions, including Phoenix, Reman, Pine Valley, frangible ammunition, Fiocchi I have a bunch of, American Eagle, and some Federal training ammo, all mixed in there, and it didn't have any issues with any of those. And I think it sprung really well is one of the reasons why. The slide is super easy to run. A lot of 1911s, when you get them, are oversprung, and sometimes with cheaper target ammo, it doesn't work quite as well, whereas this one worked perfectly right out of the box. So I forgot to mention the Bul Armory Trophy 1911 comes with a couple mags out of the box, these 10-rounders here with the extended base plates. I like that. I don't just like that they're 10-rounders, but I like they have the base plates because it's easier to reload with the magazine, obviously, but on top of that, it's easier to strip the mag out if you need to, and it's easier to pull the mag out of a mag pouch and reload. So that's kind of cool. Comes with those two. Look very similar to my Wilson Combat mags. Well, that's at 50 yards. You can see that it's pretty on point as far as that goes. So overall, I would consider this a really reliable 1911 now that we're kind of past the break-in period and all that kind of stuff. And the fact that it shot so many different types of ammunition, I'm not going to hold it to that one malfunction. Overall, it shot really well. Also, one of the more accurate guns I've ever shot. Of course it is, because it's a 9mm 1911. Any high-quality 1911 is going to be stupid accurate, and if it's not, you should throw that thing out the window. Because the platform in itself is extremely accurate. It just lends itself to accuracy because of the super short and light trigger and the really good set of sights. And the barrel that they have in here, it's a match barrel, and it works really well also. As far as speed goes, speed is kind of a fickle thing with a 1911, you know, because you have that extremely good recoil control, and you have that really fast trigger, and you can pile those first 10 shots out really quick. It always makes you wish you had 10 more. I guess that's why you get good at reloading. But the speed is unbelievable. The repeat shots are very nice because of that trigger, and recoil impulse is very low because of the 9mm cartridge in a steel frame gun. What's one of the reasons why 9mm 1911s are some people's favorite guns to shoot, and my personal favorite gun to shoot, because they make you look good. They're easy to shoot fast, and they're easy to shoot accurately, and guess what? They're easy to shoot accurately under speed as well. Now we'll get into the looks of the gun a little bit here, and I gotta say, I'm a big fan. I got this gun from Bul Armory. They did send me this if you didn't watch the first shots. I don't get to keep it. I gotta send it back. I wish I got to keep it. As a matter of fact, I might actually talk to them and see how much this is, because I kind of want to buy this. I have a couple of 1911s already, as you guys know, but I don't really have one that's in this price point that is this good. So this comes into market right around $1,700, and for most guns, that's expensive, but for 1911s, not so much. 1911s can go anywhere from the low budget Taurus style, which I do have, and I will be doing a review here shortly. And then I have a Rock Island, which is a little bit higher quality than that. I would suggest that. I usually skip the Taurus because it has a terrible trigger, and I've had one before and it's unreliable. I got a new one, it's got a terrible trigger too. But I usually go to the Rock Islands, then I'll move up to maybe Kimber or Springfield. And then after that, this is kind of where this is sitting price-wise, somewhere in the high-end Kimbers, low-end Dan Wessons. And then from there, you go up to Ed Brown, then you go up to Wilson Combat, and then Nighthawk after that. And then you go into your custom manufacturers like Infinity and Atlas, which can run you $4,000 to even $10,000. So it really depends on what features and what name you want on the side of the gun, how accurate you want it, that kind of thing. But as far as the money goes, if you're looking to get a quality 1911 for under $2,000, this is the best one I've seen. Like I said, I would take this well over a high-end Kimber. A lot of people like Kimbers. I think they're the highest sold 1911 of all time. Perfectly fine with me. If you like your Kimber and it runs great, that's awesome. I've never been a big fan of them. Coming back now, I'm going to do a couple reviews on them because they got some new cool models coming out. But they've had reliability problems in the past for me and for some of my friends. A lot of people say they've had them and they've ran thousands of rounds through them. That's great. I personally have never had one for review, but I have had them in the past, along with the SIG 1911s, which I don't recommend either. I've had two of those in the past, and both of them had issues as well. So if it were me, I would go from Rock Island, probably skip over Kimber, do a Springfield or this. I would probably do a Springfield Operator or this. I like Bul Armory. I have a couple of their guns, and I think they run really well, and I think they're probably some of the best guns for the money. As far as $1,700, I really don't think you can beat this with all the features that come to mind. This runs exactly like my Wilson Combat CQB, and it actually came with some features that my Wilson Combat CQB didn't for $1,300 less. Well, I figured I'd stop the video here really quick and go run and get the two guns that I was actually talking about, since I had them right here. I'll space them out evenly so you can kind of get an idea. So this is a Taurus 1911. I got this for about $500. Just a 9mm single stack. Again, 10-round magazines. Well, this one's a 9-round magazine. And it does have some of the features that you're going to get with the Bul Armory gun, like the front slide serrations and some of the checkering as well. However, on a gun like this, you're going to get minimal machining, and you're going to get really cheap mimmed parts, things like that. You're just not going to get the longevity out of something like this that you would this. Like if you're going to shoot a couple of thousand rounds a year and you want to hand this down to your grandson, don't get one of these. This gun is one of those that you shoot a couple hundred rounds, maybe a year, and you hope it lasts 3 or 4 years before you have to replace something. Now, if you're a tinkering kind of dude, that's not a real big problem, but for the most part, I try to stay away from these because you're going to lose reliability. In my experience, I haven't shot this particular model yet, but I did have one of these in the past, and it was less reliable, and the trigger on this is absolutely atrocious. I mean, I thought it was broken when I pulled it out of the box. It's like a 9-pound 1911 trigger. I didn't even know you could do that. I don't know if they did that by accident or what, but overall, this is kind of the $500-$600 tier, whereas this is kind of the $1,700 tier, $1,500 to $1,700, and I can tell you this one's a little bit lighter weight than both of these, and shoots just as good as my Wilson here, with even some extra features on it. This one's handcrafted though, so there's a little bit of difference there. This one's extremely reliable. 3,000 rounds for this, no malfunctions. 600 rounds for this, one malfunction, however, ammunition related. But I'm trying to kind of show you the different price tiers here, where it's $500, $1,500-ish, and then $3,000. So with the Wilson, you're going to get obviously that name, you're going to get that custom fit, and you're going to get that overall hand down to your grandchildren quality. And I think maybe with the Bul Armory you might be able to get that as well. However, I haven't tested it. Overall, all the parts seem to be quality, and the gun runs absolutely beautifully. And I think maybe this might be a little cheat code here, where you can get into a gun like a Wilson for a lot less. It is an Israeli company. Some people don't like that. I completely understand that. However, for me personally, I think I might buy this and add this to my collection and really kind of shoot it alongside my Wilson and give me something to dual wield with my Wilson, which I think that would be a fun video in itself. Let me know what you think. But if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.